Having access to effective avenues of complaint is important to audiences. At an ACMA-hosted industry workshop with broadcasters, we're exploring issues ranging from technological advancement through to resourcing. We'll be talking with industry experts to find out more. Julie, tell us about any changes you've noticed in the way people are making complaints or in the numbers of complaints.
Well, since we introduced an online complaints form back in March of 2010, there's been a significant increase in the number of complaints made. I think that's because we put a lot of work and effort into making sure it was easy and accessible to the viewer to use that system.
And what are the outcomes that you could take out of today that you would like to see elevated or discussed further?
We do have concerns about the increasing convergence of content. We increasingly are seeing content being delivered to connected TVs. That means TVs that have an internet connection, and content being delivered now in a variety of ways, and those other forms are not regulated at all.
David, tell us about complaints at 2GB and whether they're increasing. How do young people make complaints?
In the last 2.5 years since I've been at 2GB, we haven't seen any inordinate number of complaints increase on a day-to-day basis. In the last 9 months, though, we've had 2 social media campaigns which have resulted in exceptionally high levels of correspondence through our complaints website. Now, most of these people had not heard the broadcast.
So the biggest change you've noticed is in the number of complaints through social media?
That's correct, yes. And it's not just us, it's our advertisers too.
Joan, how do young people make complaints, and is it something that has changed over recent years?
I think it's fair to say, Emma, that young people don't make many complaints. Young people will tweet a view on something they've heard on the radio.
Does the industry take the complaints seriously?
All of our broadcasters do at least 12 monthly training of all staff. Many do 6 monthly. We want our on-air people in particular, and salespeople and people dealing with the public, to understand the codes and therefore take complaints seriously. So as an industry, we put a lot of resources into complaints handling.
Sophie, what changes have you noticed in subscription television when it comes to complaints? The number of, the type of?
I think the biggest change that we've noticed over the last few years is probably in the use of social media, more with respect to raising issues for us as opposed to the handling of complaints. We would still, of course, handle complaints in the most sort of reasonable and traditional way, mainly because they're often very individual. And so we're not going to be sharing that on a social media platform.
Bill, what is it about complaints handling for broadcasters that you think is different to other industries?
I think what listeners are after are respect. They want to be listened to, and their concerns taken on board. Simple as that.
Thanks for tuning in to ACMA TV. With rapid changes in technology, it's important to ensure that the complaints handling processes remain accessible to audiences. As we've heard from government and industry experts, there are benefits for all in getting it right.